Hello there, sinners, and welcome. I have a little something different today because I decided I wanted to try something new. So, join me on this new endeavour as well, talk about a little something that's quite prevalent today. It's something that I think you've probably seen around a lot in your own life, and especially in the content creation space. Today, we're going to have a little quick talk about ego. And not just the bad, but, well, perhaps the negatives of letting yours go unchecked. So let's start this, shall we? So, to begin, ego. It's that bit of self-confidence, that thing that kind of almost makes you think to yourself, yeah, I'm the shit. But it also is associated often with someone who's a bit of an arsehole. Let's be honest. It's associated a lot with the negative sides as well. Being extremely criticising, manipulative, inflexible, needing consistent praise and approval, and always feeling that sort of superiority to others, right? Those are the things you always think of, don't you? It does have positives too, but we see it a lot now, don't we? You look around and it's everywhere. From a old-ass YouTuber who freaks out over a single damn tweet and believes himself to be the hottest shit still, when frankly he's far past his prime, and his hairline certainly agrees, to people who think they can walk into a forest and film a corpse and believe themselves to be a good person still, after making money off that. Never mind the scamming. To a very recent event where someone just thinks that they can disregard their own and the lives of those with them in a fast car on a rainy day and almost get that person killed. Not even themselves. They walked out of it fine. You know what I'm referencing. And frankly, he should have been in the car on his own. Let's leave it at that, shall we? It's everywhere. I mean, a great example. Look at all the bruised egos you saw when Mouse attained the legendary status, as of recording this, most subscribed streamer on Twitch. An achievement that should be celebrated, right? Because it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And we should all be celebrating that. Especially, the Vtuber community, especially we should be celebrating this. Maybe Twitch will actually take us seriously, finally. Imagine that. But you have these people from random, how should we put this, forgotten morons who probably should just stay on their little corner and, just keep their mouth shut on other people's affairs, and then who flip-flop immediately to, oh, they're great, actually. I see you, Aiden. That was pathetic. Or, who was the other one who did it as well? Was XQC the other one? Well, I'm sorry, X. Maybe people want entertainment that doesn't come from someone so brain-rotten and absolutely worthless that perhaps, they want something they can actually understand. Not the gibberings of a lunatic who's only famous because he's an idiot and got paid more by Kick to just sit there and be a moron all day. God forbid, eh? And these people are all objectively successful. Well, far more successful than me. But the fact they have to put someone else down for their success. I put these people down because I think they're bad people. And I think that, frankly, their attacking of others for succeeding is just pathetic. Why can't they enjoy their own success and congratulate someone else's success? It's not hurting them, really. They were never at the top anyway. And do you know what? The person who was at the top, the two people who had a record, Ludwig and Kai Cenat, they did not have this issue. Why? Because their ego hasn't got to their head. Now, I'm sure there are other issues. I don't know these people too well. But their ego hasn't got to their head. They don't think they're the hottest shit since sliced bread. They're more humble. They have more humility. They congratulate us. They celebrated it. And when people were like, they were like, no, this is a good thing. Because it is. And I use this as a good example because it really, these events show you who has an ego problem and who doesn't. And I'm glad to say that two of the people who are at the top don't. And Mouse herself definitely doesn't. Definitely doesn't. So those three people, Ludwig, Kaisnat, Mouse, they're all good. They're all, everyone's got a bit of ego. You need a bit of ego. But they're good. They haven't got an ego problem. They're good people. However, those I mentioned before, KSI, Paul, Jack Doty, XQC, and Nathan Ross, grotesque ego problems. Grotesque. You only have to watch a certain podcast where he moulds over Dan TDM having more success than him. Which, I'm sorry, why are you upset? So it was always relevant. KSI, you're not relevant either. You're literally nobody now. You're a has-been who's trying to cling on to his hairline and existence on the platform, when really you should just be making your bag and moving on. Just continue being the quiet side of Prime who collects the money, while Logan destroys himself and makes himself look more of a fool. I do wonder if having a child will change him. I don't think it will. I think, if anything, it'll finally prove to us all exactly what kind of person he is. His ego more important than his own child. I really pity that child. I hope that the realization of having a child will change him, but I'm not that hopeful for people. Now, I want to mention the good sides of ego, because I feel like I've been harping on the negatives here, and I want to end on a positive note. Let's talk positives, because positive ego is important. If you have no ego at all, you're just going to be very depressed. And I've been there, where I've had no ego, no confidence or anything, just self-hatred, just the complete antithesis. I'm sure there's a word for it, but it damn well escapes me. But let's talk positives here. Confidence, right? Being confident in yourself, not overly confident, but confident. Turning on the camera and recording. Making that phone call. Doing that task. And you know in your heart of hearts, I can do this. I can do it properly. And you know that. That is a positive aspect of ego. That confidence. It'll carry you a long way. It'll make people trust you more as a person. And you'll trust yourself more as well. So certainly embrace that aspect. Resilience. When things go wrong, when there are setbacks, when there are challenges, you need that bit of ego in yourself, that voice that says, yes, you can do this, you are good enough. You need that to keep going, which leads great to motivation. To be able to be motivated to do these things. Hell, I have an issue with that. I wake up in the morning, and sometimes I just don't want to do anything. I just want to rot. But I have to drag myself out and demand something of myself. And I feel a lot better for it. And sort of sense of self, that should come, if you know anything about psychology, the ego is often thought of like that. This sense of you, your self-worth, that you are a valid person, you are worth something, at least to your damn self, if no one else. If the rest of the world doesn't give a damn about you, you give a damn about you. You should, by the way. I should. We all should a bit. And lastly, growth. When you overcome those problems, because your force of will helps you overcome them. Be it a psychological barrier, maybe a physical barrier, maybe just you're scared to start it. But once you do it, that growth is so important. It's so important. I am probably only skimming the surface of this, by the way. I'm no psychology person. I'm just looking at ego as far as how it outwardly affects people and outwardly looks. I gave a few examples for negative. Positive's harder to see. The reason it's harder to see is because, well, like I said before, if someone's confident, they're self-motivated, right? You sort of just go, yeah, they're a really motivated person. But think about it in your life. Who are the motivated people? I mean, if I go back to content creation, right? There are so many really good motivated people who've come up over time. PewDiePie, for example. I know he had the bridge incident, but listen. That one stupid mistake, he grew from it, became a better person, because he is a strong person. And look at him now. He is living the best life you could ask for. He's made his money. And he's grown, and he's a father now. Who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want to go through this turmoil, get everything you ever wanted, and enjoy it? You know, he doesn't sit there screaming at people saying how he has to pay for hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars of whatever, and has to stream and make content even though he hates it. He isn't doing that. He does it because he wants to now. He doesn't need to do anything. He has his money. He has companies. He's doing fine. But it's a little something for him to enjoy. And I couldn't think of anything better. You know, you look at the likes of Ludwig and Kai Cenat, you know, these really motivated people that have weathered the storm of streaming. And not to mention Mouse, who... I mean... Look, I might be an angel, but if there's a god, I want a word of him. If I find the big man, I'll have a word of him, because she's been put through a hell and back. But my god, she's still the most nicest, smiley people you'll see around. Who really stands up for her friends and is just... I couldn't think of a better person to have achieved... You know, those three I mentioned, also pretty decent people. Mouse I probably have seen the most stuff of, but I couldn't think of better people to be on the higher echelon, especially Mouse. Especially her. It's good to me that someone can get to that level without having to fall in with these negative sides of their ego. But instead they're damn positive ends, the motivation, which you gotta have to be in a position to still do this for years. And it's taken years. So isn't God's fast lane worked for it? That takes resilience. And a lot of growth. So, if ever someone says ego's all negative, I want you to understand there are positives to that ego, but never let it overcome you, because you'll become a very bad person if you do, alright? That's all for today, sinners. I know this is a bit of a weird one. I've taken a lot of pot shots. And listen, if they get upset about it, I don't care. And if you have anything you want to say on this, did you like this? Do you want more of these? I'm thinking of doing more. But look, this is something new. We gotta work on the format, the editing, all that crap. So, bear with me as Cabral takes the gloves off and is a bit more nasty now and then. But in a good way. I want to point out the good and the bad, right? I want to point out the people who are deserving of your attention and deserving of your kindness. I want to point out the people who deserve nothing from you, or from your precious time, and should be forgotten. Because they deserve nothing from you. What they need to do is redeem themselves in your eyes. And I hope you'll give someone else the time, or give yourself that time back that those people are stealing from you. And go towards people who are far, just more positive influences in your life. Alright? I'm not saying I'm going to be a positive influence. I don't consider myself a good person in many regards, but maybe I am. I don't know. I don't know. Do I have all the answers? Of course I don't. But am I going to try and find them? Sure. Anyway, Sinner, I hope you've enjoyed. Again, a weird bit of format, a weird bit of content. So bear with me as I figure out what the hell I'm doing. But, till next time, sinners, I wish you all a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you are. Until next time, ta-ta for now.